The following is a presentation of TFNN.
This story began on a nice Florida winter day, December 10th, 2005, when a lone fisherman in Mosquito Lagoon, out near Cape Canaveral, discovered a crab trap that appeared to have something caught inside of it. As the fisherman looked closer, he noticed that a baby dolphin was tangled in a rope that had cut off the supply of blood to the dolphin's tail. The fisherman cut the rope and called for help because he saw this dolphin was struggling. The dolphin, later named Winter, was brought to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, but too much damage was done to her tail, and it could not be saved. Now, folks, the greatest gift you can give anyone is the gift of your attention. And that is exactly what Winter received from a group of prosthetic engineers who created an innovative new design for a prosthetic tail. Winter, she's doing just fine, and her story of survival and success has gone on to touch others, many, many others. These are folks that need a more flexible prosthetic. We can't control the circumstances of life, folks, only how we respond to them. Circumstances are like the wind. Learn to set a good sail, folks, and let the wind take you to your dreams, your treasures, and your destination. Welcome to TFNN. We're glad you're here and you have our attention.
It is now time for The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters and treasure hunters. Welcome to the December 14th fantastic Friday edition of today's Opening Bell on the Trader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and thanks so much for joining me, folks. I absolutely treasure your presence here today, and my outcome is to help you to become a better money master and to provide you with the tools that each of us need in order to lead an inspired life. Because that, folks, that is what it's all about. So let's go take a look at one of our tools. You'll love this tool. This tool is what I call, I hope you love this tool, because it's full of love. It's the tool that says, do what you love and love what you do. Just think about that for a moment. Do what you love and love what you do. Or maybe said another way, work is love made visible. Now, Thomas Edison, I love Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison often ate and slept in his laboratory. In fact, he worked 18-hour days. That was normal for Thomas Edison. However, Edison is so often quoted as just simply saying, I never worked a day in my life. It was all fun. Folks, that's the way that it should be for you. You know, you hear the commercial, one of Tom's comments about the amount of effort, time that I put into each of my newsletters. I mean, they're only about 45 pages or so. Of course, there's ways that I summarize things to make it easy for folks to scan out there. I don't feel like I have worked a day in my life. I absolutely love what it is I do. I love being here with you each and every day. It's why if I ever do get sick, which has only been once really, you know, Basil filled in for that one day, I somehow just worked through it and popped right back. I absolutely love being here with you. I don't just say it, I actually mean it. I hope that you love doing whatever it is that I hope you love being here with me as well. Now, how about Lyndon Baines Johnson, LBJ out there? He loved his work, and when LBJ, and I hope that there are people in Congress actually listening to this, but when LBJ was a Senate Majority Leader, the Senate worked hard and late. Something to think about. Now, every now and again, one of his colleagues would complain, saying that Rome wasn't built in one day. You may actually have heard somebody say that comment. Maybe you've said it before in your past. Somebody saying that Rome wasn't built one day. Well, my outlook on that, or my take is, of course, the way that I would take that comment is LBJ wasn't the foreman on the job for building Rome. Otherwise, it might have been built in one day out there. So, you know, folks, it's and how I use that, how I apply that, is take a look at what I also do for my subscribers, my clients, is I do a workshop. I try to do one every other week. I've got, there's in the archives, I guess there's 20 plus, at least, more than 20 plus workshops up there. And each of those workshops, I put a tremendous amount of effort into it to try to, not to try, but to absolutely and actually teach folks something new out there. What I did here this past Wednesday was taught folks the primary basics of Tom DeMark's sequential indicator out there. You know, it's an indicator that folks, if they want it, now there's a book that you can read. I can tell you, I've read that book at least 3 times, cover to cover. It is one of the more complicated books out there, but I understand his system, and I just simply, what I did was I went ahead and condensed days into an hour for folks and gave people a real head start out there. So you might want to consider that, because education is really what it's all about. I say, love what you do, folks, whatever you do, and it'll take you to, and it'll make you feel like you're on vacation. Now, what I really find interesting about the word vacation, and maybe some of you feel like you haven't had enough vacation out there, but what I really like about the word vacation, it's only one letter away from the word vocation. And the Latin root for the word vocation is to call. You can go ahead and look that up, but I've just saved you the time. The Latin root of the word vocation is to call. So your vocation is actually calling you. It's calling you to find your work, which in turn, folks, it will help you to find yourself. And really, isn't that what it's all about? So vacations call you. Vocations call you as well. No wonder Edison didn't feel like he worked one day in his life. No wonder I don't feel like I've worked one day in my life as well. Always on vacation. Find your vocation, folks. And there are great examples of folks that are focused on their vocations. You probably know some of them as well. They may be, in fact, you as well. Most surgeons out there, most surgeons are so focused on their vocation, thank goodness, and that the healing energy of the universe just simply finds its way and flows right through their fingertips, right through their hands, so that they can do their deed, save people, whatever it is that they might be doing as a surgeon out there, repair, help folks out there. Assembly line workers, operators, they can have the satisfaction of knowing that because they focus on their vocation, that they've contributed to a finished product, no matter what it is out there. The Wright brothers, they love the idea of flight. At their vocation, it produced the first airplane out there. A vocation, folks, is more than just putting in hours to earn a living. A vocation is your most valuable asset, and the greatest gift that you can give to yourself and everyone else is just simply your talent that you can offer to the world. So find your vocation, folks, and you'll feel like you're on a vacation for the rest of your life. So let's go take a look at these markets, see what they were doing here since they vacation of when I was last with you yesterday at 11 o'clock in the morning. Right now, you got futures trading, kind of flat. Similar to yesterday, you got the Dow futures trading out at 13,110 right now. That's up about 18 points. The ES Mini up a point and a half. That's what we're looking at here on my screen. If you're following us on Tiger TV, maybe you're listening on a mobile device that doesn't have access, or you're not accessing the actual Tiger TV Live, you can. If you go over to the very right-hand side, you'll see a tablet, iPhone, Google, and Android device out there. And if you click on that, you'll be able to actually see this show streaming live, but you can always catch the archives of this show, so you can watch on your big screen, television, or monitor, and you can take a look at the charts that we're looking at this show being archived on Channel 9 out there. And we are looking at the ES Mini. It's right now at the 14.1325 level. NASDAQ futures off $9. What does that mean? If I tell you that the NASDAQ futures are off $9, what does that likely mean? Exactly. It means Apple is trading lower. And if we go take a look at Apple, Apple closed out last night at $529.69. It's trading out right now at about $514. Apple down $15. Apple, ooh, how about that? Something to think about there. Apple looks like it's going to go after its swing point mighty early for a Friday morning. That could be setting the tone for the rest of the day. If we take a look at what's going on with the King dollar back 4 ticks right now, trading out at 79.87. Gold down a buck, out at 16.95.60. Silver up 13 pennies. No great shakes there. Light sweet crude up 40 cents, trading out at 89.24. Around the world, you've got the DAX that's just slightly positive, up 5 points, making a bearish engulfing candle yesterday as it came into that 1.272 expansion of swing points. We'll take a look at that. You've got the FTSE off about 7 points. The Nikkei was off 5 points last night. The Shanghai, whoosh. We'll take a look at that Shanghai chart. Off to the moon, going to the moon for sure, up 93 points. That was up over 4% last night. The Hang Seng up 0.7%, up 160 points out there. Our call-in number is always 877-927-6648. So what we've got up on my screen here is the 30-minute chart of the ES Mini. Now, as we take a look at the 30-minute chart, and here, this is the March contract that we are looking at. What we can see here, or what you should be able to see, is the A to B equals CD down pattern. In fact, if you would like to learn how to trade the A to B equals CD down pattern, folks, you can still do it. I've got a workshop that I did. There's a commercial that was out there, and I can't recall who the actual manufacturer was. I think it was GE. And their mantra was, we don't just make things, we make things better. Well, that is absolutely my philosophy out there. In fact, if you take a look at all the great ones, Edison created, so many inventions, and people just simply made things better. I mean, that is their mantra, right? So if we take a look at that's my philosophy. Take a look at Larry Pesavento. Larry Pesavento, he's taken the work of a lot of great folks out there, one of those being Gartley, H.M. Gartley. And what Larry did was he made it better. How did he make it better? He applied Fibonacci relationships to that lightning bolt pattern, to the A to B equals CD, to give even more of an edge out there. What did I do? I took what Larry did in H.M. Gartley and taught folks and teach people how to buy and sell the D point, how to focus, how to let the market do 75% of the work for you and really focus on that D point, becoming an expert of that D point, because that is what you want to be able to learn with regard to patterns out there. In fact, if you are investing in Tiger dollars, which you most certainly should be doing, because we've got a special that's going on for just a few more days here. It ends December 19th, and this is where you get a 25% bonus on every dollar that you invest in yourself by purchasing Tiger dollars out there. Then you've got access to be able to, in essence, get 25% off of my course of buying and selling the D point. That, folks, will just not only, because I condense decades into days. In this case here, it was decades into about a 6-7 hour workshop out there that you can replay and replay and replay, because you certainly want to be able to do that. If you're interested in that, just click on my name on the front page at tfnn.com, and down towards the bottom, you will see that, and it's I recommend that you do that. But if we take a look at, it's always about making things better out there. If we take a look at the A to B equals CD pattern, let's just simply go draw that in. And it is important to understand that the first A to B equals CD pattern was completed out here. In fact, what you'll see, it was a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. The actual price point projection on that A to B equals CD, with your A point out here being the high. This is, again, the 30-minute chart at the 2 o'clock session here. That high was at 1432.50. That A point, your B point, coming in at the low at 6 in the morning on the 13th. That was yesterday. And then making a retracement. Doesn't look like it was a 0.618 retracement to me. That should make you say, something to think about. But still, completing a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. Price projection, as I said, was 1410. It got down to 1409.75, coming in at 2:30 yesterday afternoon. How about that? Came in there, and then when it was doing that, what it was also doing was getting into what? Getting into that lower portion of the relative strength, getting into where it starts to become a little bit oversold, where you got to be looking for a potential bounce out there. And most certainly, you saw a bullish engulfing candle come in at the close at about at the close yesterday at 4 p.m. Some of that maybe was they say was fueled by the mere fact that there was this news release that Boehner was going to go up and meet with President Obama, and certainly he did that. But of course, we can see prices now trading back towards that 1410 level. You're at 1412.50 out there now. What it was also doing, maybe it was making a retracement out here. Boy, time absolutely flies. The first A to B equals CD down put into the market. How important is that? Well, we'll go take a look at the 30-minute chart from the lows of November 16th and see if it made any A to B equals CD downs while it was going from its lows to its highs out there. Something to think about. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back, folks.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of TigerTV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With TigerTV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on TigerTV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out TigerTV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
Happy holidays from TFNN. Our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale is back this December at TFNN. Normally, we offer only a 10 to 20% bonus on Tiger Dollar purchases, but through December 19th only, when you purchase Tiger Dollars to spend on any of our products, you get a 25% bonus on your purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. You'll receive a personalized thank you letter directly from our local Clearwater Salvation Army administrator in appreciation of your donation. Tiger Dollars can be used on any of our newsletters or subscriptions, never expire, and are fully transferable. Take advantage of our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale of the year right now. Visit TFNN.com for all the details and to make your purchase today. Happy holidays from TFNN.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks, and let's go right into the 30-minute charts on the 30-minute chart on the ES Mini. So I'm taking you all the way back to November 16th, a month ago, with today being November 14th, almost a month ago, and really a couple patterns that were, a number of patterns, quite frankly, that were in play during the day as the market was making its low out there. If you're watching us on Tiger TV, you know, you will see there's, in essence, a three drive to a bottom pattern that was forming on this on the 30-minute chart. What I'm starting with here is I'm starting with the low of the swing point that came in at 4 p.m. on November the 14th. That low out there, 1349.50. You can then use your next swing point low, which is going to be at 12:30 on November 15th, out at 1345.25. And in your final swing point low that came in at 11:30 on the 16th. Obviously on the 16th, that was at 1340.25. When it got down there. Now, if you take a look at it, in what you want to do, you don't want to force these patterns. You give them a little bit of leeway, and that, in essence, what I did here was gave it a few bars. That's all that was needed. Now, so I've just given you the time frames, and if I just go ahead, I click back on this thing, we can, and I just draw this in here, and you'll be able to see how the price came right in, really right at the it's almost just ideally perfect out there. There's your 3 drive to a bottom pattern. That was one of the patterns out there. There was another pattern that's even more important, quite frankly, than that 3 drive, or just simply confirming. These are nothing more than indicators out there, and what you want to be able to do is you want to learn how to identify when the actual turns come in. The candles will provide that. That's one of the ways. There's some other techniques that are even on this chart here right now. That's what I teach my clients out there. As I mentioned, for me, it's just about learning what others know and finding ways to be able to make it better out there. That's what Steve Nissen did when he created the candlestick. All he did was he interpreted what was being used for hundreds of years in Japan. That's why we now, and thank goodness that he did, that's now why most of us use candlesticks on our charts out there. All I've done is take his work and actually made it better when I created the blending system out there. And then I'll describe to you a little bit about that during the trading session here today. But it's always about taking, that's why you want to spend time reading and learning other people's systems. You should consume as much as you can out there, folks, and then find a way to apply it to whatever it is that you do in life. So now you've got the 3. So we got the bottom that was in here. And as I was pointing out, off of the bottom, and we're just taking a look at a 30-minute chart, there's all types of A to B equals CD patterns that are on the way up. But as you're looking through this, you don't see, we're already here to the 21st. So we come from the 16th to the, in fact, in this case here, we're already in the 23rd. If you take a look at this chart, there's no A to B equals CD downs. There's A to B equals CD up patterns. There's multiple A to B equals CD. Even this pattern right here did not end up in a to B equals CD down. Because you had the high, in essence, that was taken out. This takes you into the 26th of November out here. The first one that actually took place would be, and it, quite frankly, to me, not much of an A to B equals CD down. You'd almost have to really start here at the time frame of November 27th. You would have to use these highs out here. So, we could call this perhaps the first A to B equals CD down. That was the head fake on November the 28th. Then the market continued making its move up, did not make any other A to B equals CD down pattern, so gave you that first one, and then boom, here as we take a look at the highs coming in on December 3rd, this was not an A to B equals CD down, coming off of the highs here in December 3rd, just simply retracements. But what we do have now, as I've shown you, we do have an A to B equals CD down pattern. So it's very possible that what we are seeing is the beginning of the move down. So it's important to note that out there. You can see right now the ES Mini taking on its swing point lows that came in yesterday as it completed that first A to B equals CD down. If we go take a look at the daily chart, let's see what the daily chart here is showing us. The daily chart, as I pointed out to you, was retesting a 100% move of a move that was coming back to the swing points here from November 2nd, from November the 7th out there. And you can see as this bottom here was forming, it's natural. It is normal, folks, for when a market reverses, it doesn't matter what it is that you're trading, whether it's a currency, whether it's a stock, whether it's a commodity, for it to go seek, it's when it rejects an area, in this case here, rejecting a low, it's natural for it to go back and test and make 100% move a move. Either make 100% move a move or only a retracement. Either 382, 618, and 786. Those are the levels that you always want to be paying attention to. In this case here, that next swing point happened to be up at November 7th. That's what happened. It got up there. That's horizontal resistance. Now, if you combine these first 2 days out here, meaning the 12th and the 13th, that, folks, is creating a bear sash candle out there. That, folks, you can also see that the trend line, the diagonal trend line out there, the ES Mini has broken back below that. That says these black horizontal lines, those are the next targets for the ES Mini on the way down. 877-927-6648. We get back, we're going to go see how these markets are going to open. Apple, though, setting the gap down, trade down to 514.90 at the open. We'll be right back.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open, even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're off to the races. We got the Dow off 5 points right now. Composite down 20. Russell down a couple of points. New York Stock Exchange off 6. NDX down 24. Transport's off 11 this morning. And right now it is all about Apple. Let's go take a look at Apple trading out at 509. Even Steven. Of course, that was like for about 2 seconds. And it is trading into my hammer candle, your hammer candle as well, an important trading session perhaps today as it attacks the low of that hammer. That price is 505.75. That's going to be important from a close standpoint. If Apple closes below that level, folks, get out of town, because when you break a hammer candle low, when you break that area of support, that is one of the most bullish candles out there. It says if you're long, you're wrong. You certainly don't want to stay in the way of that. And I know there's still a lot of people out there that are saying, no way They're out there shopping. There's no way that Apple can keep going lower. Again, yesterday, the way that I framed it was this, and you're going to have a lot of people maybe at parties this weekend, and maybe even talking about Apple, maybe even Apple products or what have you. And my question that I posed to you is, do you think that Apple was fairly valued when Steve Jobs was alive? That's the question. Was Apple fairly valued when Steve Jobs was alive? Answer that question, yes or no. Most people will answer that, sure, yes, it was. And the question then that begs, so do you think that Apple is more valuable or less valuable with Steve Jobs being here with us or not? And so what Apple is doing, folks, it's going all the way back down into that 300 level. Steve Jobs passed away on October, I believe it was the 5th out there. That's the red and black lines, in essence, that you see down at the bottom that are drawn across my screen out here. Apple setting up the A to B equals CD down to go back there to where it most likely was really fairly valued out there. So we'll see now. I'll just switch over here to the 30-minute chart, because as we open, we know there's obviously a lot of volume coming out here at the open. So far, shares. Now, the reason why I've got a 30-minute chart is so that way, while you are watching this on Tiger TV on the screen here, it's easier than if I were to go down to a 5-minute chart or a 10-minute chart. It would be so scrunched up, you wouldn't really be able to see the candles out here. The black line going across the screen, that is the low that was made. That is the 505.75. So on the 30-minute chart, that was the 12 noon time frame on November the 16th out there. That is where the market also drew a line in the sand out there. Apple giving you really the first signal that it was getting ready to turn and put in that bullish hammer candle out there. Now Apple is trading inside that swing point. That's going to be key. That swing point on the 30-minute chart has 5.3 million shares. Now, we know a lot of volume in any equity at the open, just the pent-up demand overnight. So far today, in 7 minutes of trading, 4 million shares out there. So it certainly has volume. You want to see, now, quite frankly, now that you're inside that area, you want to see that swing point low be tested here. Maybe not during this first 30-minute session, but during the next 30-minute session. Again, to close below that, and it says look out below. Of course, if that area can hold and you can test it, or Apple can test it, and it can test it on lighter volume today. And so just to give you what that read would be, let's go back to the daily chart. Let's blow this up. The read there, volume-wise, that is 45 million shares. So if it can test that area on lighter volume, close back above it, says, okay, that could be a rejection of a swing point, not just a swing point, but a hammer candle out there. However, with already having 5 million shares in 8 minutes of trading, 45 million shares may not be too difficult for it to do. If it stays inside the swing point with higher volume, says on Monday, might even just simply jump that swing point, but the blow will want to be tested. If it rejects it on higher volume, it says that Apple will be back down there. So you can get a great read on what's going on in the markets, whether you like it or not, just simply based on what this one stock or equity is doing out there. But let's go take a look at others in the marketplace. Let's go take a look at the DAX and see what the DAX is doing here. Yesterday, forming a bearish engulfing candle. That was after making a 1.272 expansion of a set of swing points. Again, those swing points being the high of September 21st down to the low of November 16th. The 1.272 coming in at 76.22 and a little bit of change. And what the DAX got up to on December the 12th was 76.2640. Closed back below that. You then got a bearish engulfing candle yesterday, getting just a little bit of follow through today. As long as this thing closes underneath 75.9520, then that remains intact. And that says that what the DAX will do, the DAX has been strong, no doubt about it. At a minimum, the DAX will come back down and test the area where it broke out from. That area of resistance. Now, what we'll see is whether or not it's going to act as support. That price area, is going to be anywhere from, let's just say, 74.78, probably down to 74.47. So that is 74.47 to 74.78. So about a 30-point area there. Of course, if you do get a closer, the DAX does close back below 74.7853. That will have been a false break topside. And there are false breaks topside. You can go take a look at Walmart. Let's go see what the Walmart chart is doing. Of course, Walmart is a monthly chart that we'll be taking a look at here. And so we've got, a couple weeks left in the month. But if we take a look at Walmart broke out of that long-term consolidation that went back to 1999. That's the black horizontal line going across my screen. Broke out of there with conviction. When I say conviction, we're talking 210 million shares in July of 2012. going against the 1999 volume of 137 million. So it had the volume as it broke through there. Last month, it looked like it was giving us the crack and snap, meaning it tried to crack back in there, get below the December 31st, 1999 high, rejected that area and snapped, looked like it was maybe going to snap back up, but that looks like a false snap, crackle, and pop. If you do so, and when you do break a trend line, it is normal to come back and test it. Last month's test was on lighter volume, 193 million, going against, well, it was on heavier volume than the 1999 level. It was on lighter volume than the breakout of 210 million. Still coming down there with a little bit too much energy. So the close this month of Walmart will certainly be sending out a good signal out there. As we go take a look at, let's go look at the currency market. Let's look at the euro. So the euro here coming off of its highs after making that little triple top test. Now it's a quadruple top test out here. The first test was on, or the third test was on December 5th. You saw this morning, or maybe you didn't see it. Now you're seeing it live. This morning, a test of that area as well. This area has acted as strong resistance. I suspect that it will do the same out there. The euro is still relatively strong. However, I suspect what we'll see is if we get a rejection here, certainly if we get a bearish candle, and you can see yesterday we had the first sign of what I'll call a bearish candle, in that it was a doji coming into a prior resistance area that was telling you that the market was tired and it did not have the momentum to move to the upside. Not that it can't, but it's giving us a signal that it just simply run out of energy after making that 100% move, that retracement all the way back up to its most recent swing point from December 5th out there. You get a close today below the level, the price point of 137.24. You will have a bearish engulfing candle on the euro as it made a quadruple test of its of a resistance area, in essence the highs back from September 14th, 2012. As long as we're in the currency marketplace, let's go take a look at our friend the Japanese yen out there. They have elections this Sunday, and the Prime Minister of Japan, or the lead runner of the elections going on, he is a Uncle Ben twin, as I say, a Uncle Ben twin, because he wants he wants Japan's finance ministers to go out there and buy bonds in an unlimited nature. What the yen here doing is making a 100% move of a move. If you get it closed back below the March 15th swing point, that level would be 83.18 out there. That would be a rejection of a 100% move and just simply set up a move lower out here in the Japanese yen, which would be great. It just we want to see, those of us that want to take a long position in this currency pair, this is the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, like to see a little bit of a retracement here. We go take a look at around the world. We did talk about the DAX. Let's go see what else is going on around the world in 80 minutes here. No, not really 80 minutes, but or 80 days. Let's go take the FTSE here rejecting its resistance area. You got a rejection here yesterday. The FTSE had a little false break topside on the 12th of December, 12 as it broke through its horizontal resistance. That was the highs of September 14th as well. Yesterday closing back below. You're getting some follow through here today. Looks like this is really setting up a two-day blended bearish engulfing candle out there. That is on the FTSE in London. Of course, let's go take a look at the big move out here in the markets. No question about it, and it is the Shanghai. And the question is the Shanghai off the bottom? Well, I can tell you it came off the bottom with some decent conviction on the 5th of December. You had good volume there. You had pretty good volume on December the 7th. Volume was pretty nice on December the 10th out there as well. And then, ba-boom, yesterday. Look at that wide price spread, accelerated volume, coming up into an area here that has been resistance, 100% move of a move. It has a little bit higher to go to complete that, which would take it into the August 10th level. And so the question is the Shanghai off of the bottom? Well, I always say you got to dig deeper into a chart, just like anything else. So that was the daily chart. What does the weekly chart show us here? The weekly chart shows us that, most certainly it backed off into the 0.786 level of the lows to the highs. And these are the lows going back from November 7, 2008, all the way up to the highs in July of August of 2009 out there. Does have an A to B equals CD completion. It does also have a bullish engulfing candle from last week, December 7th. You're getting follow through, or you got follow through this week as well. So it may be that the Shanghai is off of the bottom. Let's take a look at the monthly chart as long as we're looking at this. On the monthly chart, this is traveling into the swing point low. It's got a little bit of work to do to prove itself. I would say once you see a close outside of the October 31st, 2008 low, that is your swing point low out there. That price would be 2381.34. It closed at 2252.13. So if you get a close above that level, it will perhaps have its work done for it and actually be forming a bottom out here. What would you want to do then? Well, what you'd like to do then is buy the first retracement. And I think it's the FXI or the FXP that might be the closest play to the Shanghai from an ETF standpoint out there. Let's go take a look at Goldilocks. We've got gold trading up 70 cents right now at $16.97. One of the things we looked at yesterday was we took a look at gold trading with inside this high volume. This is the 10-minute chart that we've got on my screen here. So it's trading inside these two little high-volume swing point bars. Those are the two red lines going across my screen. So just building cause by moving sideways here, and looks like really building cause to move lower and go down and at least test those lows, that being the 1686-ish range, and that is on your gold contract. That's on the 10-minute contract out there. If we go take a look, and let's go blow this up to the daily, just as long as we are here. And on the daily contract, what I was showing you yesterday, showing you again today, is the possibility of 2A to B equals CD down patterns. That is if it takes out the lows here from December the 7th. Again, that was a 1684.10. Of course, it also really needs the larger A to B equals CD, as well as really the smaller. It needs to take out the November 5th area, which has volume of 223,000 contracts. So you get it closed below 1672.50, and now you've got 2A to B equals CD down patterns that would be in play on Goldilocks out there. If we take a look at high-ho silver, you've got silver trading up 18 pennies at 32.53 right now. Silver here testing the swing point low, closing, it looks like just slightly below it here. So the December 5th low, $32.58, 48,000 contracts. Yesterday, you had 47,000 contracts and a close at 32.60. So 32.60 versus is 32.58. So it did reject that area just slightly, coming down with more volume, though. So silver, which has been the strongest, might give you the first signal of A to B equals CD down patterns in the metals marketplace out here. Let's take a look at light sweet crude. Light sweet crude has been really just traveling sideways here for quite some time, just building up some energy. It is traveling below the, which moving average do I have up here? I've got the 50-day and 200-day. Looks like I've got all kinds of moving averages out there. Looks like the 20-day moving average is what it is trading underneath here right now. You've got light sweet crude wants to get back and test the swing point low from June 28th out there. Let's take a look at, as long as we're here in the commodities, let's finish it up by looking at natural gas. This is a beautiful pattern here. It is why you want to also make sure you've added to your arsenal of tools out there channel lines. Here is the rising price channel. And again, channels totally different than trend lines out there. Price channel for the natural gas contract, really just simply a thing of beauty. You would certainly put this in a textbook out here. Watch how, it goes from the bottom of the channel to the top of the channel, comes back down to the bottom, moves back up to the top, back down to the bottom, moves back up to the top, hangs out up at the top level here for about, until November the 23rd out there. And then what it did is now what it's doing right now, moving right back down to the bottom. And the beauty here, folks, is, why don't we join a couple of patterns together? Let's marry up a couple of patterns. If we come off of the most recent lows at the bottom of that price channel, we go from that low to the high out here, back down. Looks to me like we are forming a 0.618 Gartley buy pattern. That's your channels, and that's your Gartley. 877-927-6648. Dow's up 13 points. We'll be right back.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page at TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Things pretty flat in the markets, except for the market where they're making applesauce right now. But the Dow is up 2 points, S&P off about 3, Composite down 12, being led by Apple down 16 points now, out at 513, and a little bit of change. Popping to the upside, you got PPG Industries, CF Holdings, Adobe Systems, DaVita Health, Joy Global, Ralph Lauren, Baidu, all up a little bit over a buck. You've got PPG is up $5. That is after announcing the acquisition of a architectural coatings business, I can't even pronounce it, I don't think, Akzol Nobel. I'm sure I totally butchered that. To the downside, Apple leading charge. Behind them, you've got Ten Corp off $3.94. Schlumberger off $4. That's down 5%. That must be putting some heat on the XLE, the energy sector. I actually was looking at shorting the energy sector yesterday. I am short, folks. Of course, you probably knew that. USANA Health Screen up down 10% here. That's down $4 and change. WellCare Health off. Verifone, PAY is the ticker symbol. They're off another 9% this morning. And maybe Santa is going to deliver a gift called Netflix to you. That would be called the Netflix short that I'm talking about here. Netflix right now up about $1 or so, trading out at $93.83. And we'll see how good Santa is to each of us out here. Why? Because Netflix is trying to close the gap, the area where it most recently broke down with a volume of 16.7 million shares. The actual breakout candle, April 23rd, had 11 million shares on the way up here. If we just go back to 12/12 on Wednesday, 7.8 million shares. Yesterday, 4 million shares. So it's losing energy on the way up. Don't know if it'll get to that point, but boy, that would be a beautiful thing. That low is 101.79. So we'll certainly be paying attention, or you should pay attention to the Netflix. Why? Because it's a nice $100 stock. Those are the types of stocks that you want to trade. Also, as you take a look at Netflix as it's moving up into that area, you can see it's starting to get into that overbought zone out here. Of course, you want to make sure that you wait for an additional confirmation of a nice trade to potentially the downside. The downside would be, this little consolidation level that it's trading in, and the downside is as much as $53. So this could be setting up a really nice, did I say really nice? A really beautiful, nice reward to risk trade out there. But wait for things to unfold. Talk about unfolding after this show, folks. As we do on Fridays, we do the Nadex Bull Bear binary option. Tom O'Brien will be here today. I guess there are no homes on the market left for him to buy for the weekend, so that is a beautiful thing. So it'll be Tom, Daryl, and myself doing the Nadex trading hour, so stay tuned for that. And then after that, it's all about health and wealth out here on Fridays. So Nico fill in the health spot. Nico DeHaan from 12 to 1. Daryl Martin will be back for his hour from 1 to 2. David White 2 to 3. Ken Shreve 3 to 4. And the Tom O'Brien Show from 4 to 6. If we take let's go back, take a quick peek here at Apple. Before we go into, before the show here comes to a end, as we take a look at Apple volume, obviously big volume here so far. Today, already 10 million shares. That 10 million shares going into Stevie's hammer candle of 45 million shares. Let's go back down to, let's actually now go into the 5-minute chart and see what is going on volume-wise. So you can see that initial spike open here, of course, gets into extreme oversold conditions. Now just simply working that off and going back and attacking that area. I do expect what we will see here is we will see Apple eventually go test the bottom of that swing point. Thanks so much for being here. Have a fantastic Friday, folks. And remember this. Remember, folks, your destiny is not predetermined. We determine our own destiny. And you, folks, you've got an amazing power within yourself. And that power, it's so strong it will create a life of abundance, cure incurable diseases, build billion-dollar businesses, and create fantastic, loving families. Thanks so much for being a part of the TFNN family. Have a great day, a great weekend. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.